And continuing Kelley Blue Book's coverage of the 2010 Chicago Auto Show, we're here at the BMW stand in front of a very special vehicle with somebody who knows an awful lot about it, Andy Bovensieben. How close was I on pronouncing your name right?
Oh, that was perfect.
Excellent.
Let's go on, Alexis.
Well, now let's talk a little bit about the car that's behind us. I don't think, is there anybody in the world that knows more about this car than you?
Probably not. I hope not.
Well, then you're the right guy to talk to.
Maybe Chris, our product manager.
Well, you're here now, so give us the overview. So this is a 7 Series, but it has that Alpina thumbprint right on it. Well, let's start from the outside, and maybe we'll work our way in a little bit.
Great.
What is the Alpina approach when it comes to aesthetics? Because when you're building a high-performance car, people, when they're driving them, they want others to know, I'm driving something special. What's the right balance between aggression and refinements?
Okay, our work is very much driven off form follows function. For example, we have the front spoiler, and the front spoiler has 3 big inlets for additional air for cooling. And the lift is reduced to 0 by this front spoiler, and therefore we have an additional rear deck spoiler. Though especially in Europe, where we have unlimited Autobahn, we can go up to 280 kilometers, and therefore the car needs to be very stable on the road. And if you look on this shape of the rear spoiler, that is integrated and not only set up on the car, that is very much integrated design-wise.
Because I've seen tuners come out with modified versions of BMW product, and oftentimes you have sort of flashy whale tail, maybe a little bit overblown, but this seems
tuners often have some kind of, let's do a big marketing thing and put it on the car. We are going more deeper. We make the maximum we need to have a very stable car at high speeds, and then to have the lowest drag. So this is all done, the ankle of this rear spoiler is all done in the wind tunnel. So this is very intensive engineering work.
What about inside? What have you guys done to tweak the interior?
Yeah, for example, we have the choice of Alpina wood trim. This is a myrtle wood with integrated Alpina badge. This is very fine detailed. Yeah, here the first look you have on the instrumentation, which is Alpina traditional blue with red needles, and Alpina soft leather steering wheel.
I like the green stitching and then
the
the
new stitching. Yes, that's all very special.
Well, okay, so looking at this logo here, people who maybe don't know much about Alpina, can you talk a little bit about Alpina, its history, and how it integrates with BMW? Okay,
Alpina was founded in 1965 by my father, who bought in BMW, but this car was too slow for him, and so he decided to make a Weber dual carburetor system on the car, so it had about 25 horsepower more and accelerated better. And at that time, it was very important to have more horsepower. You need a better fuel and airflow into the engine, and this is the left part of the Alpina emblem. So you see an inlet part. In the beginning it was a dual carburetor, but later on it was some for the injection. And on the other side, what is very important to have a high engine capacity. And you see a crankshaft, which is the second part on the emblem.
And now people can go to a BMW dealership and buy this directly from the dealership. There's no...
Indeed.
Describe the integration between Alpina and BMW, because you get access to the vehicle. You're integrated into the process, right?
We are very much integrated. So, for example, we start our development work a year before a new BMW comes on rail. So indeed we have some prototype cars and can start our development. We have the possibility of getting the CAD data of the underlying models for these models we work on. So it's very close and still in the production process. We deliver to the BMW assembly line our wheels, our dampers, the engine, and then BMW produces it on the assembly line to a certain extent, because the assembly line has a certain speed, which is the same for every 7 Series. But if we have more parts, for example a front spoiler, rear spoiler, different exhaust, we have to do things afterwards in our workshop, which is 40 miles away from Munich.
So you're not just picking up a car at the dealership and throwing a bunch of stuff at it. You're very much a part of the process, which I guess you would have to be, because some of the stuff you're altering, it's more than just like putting some lower springs on it or swapping out the wheels.
Indeed, the development process goes quite deep. Yes, we have a reinforced, for example, a reinforced gearbox hardware, reprogrammed software, so we cannot use the standard part. So in the beginning, the Alpina, the birth of an Alpina car is an Alpina car. It's not a later converted BMW.
Well, and I guess one example of just how deep you guys go, if you get, maybe we can look at the engine real quick, because this is a high horsepower engine. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Talk about the depths that you guys go to.
Okay, at first, yes, to get a powerful twin turbo engine, you need a lower compression than that of a 750. So we have Marley reinforced competition pistons in it, reduce the compression ratio down to 9.1, and then we increase the boost pressure to 1.2 instead of 0.8. We have bigger impellers in the turbos. And therefore the engine got warmer, therefore we had to improve the cooling by 35%, huger intercoolers and huger water coolers. And this, in the end, in conjunction with a new exhaust system, which less back pressure, gives us 100 horsepower more, 500 horsepower and 516 pounds-feet of torque, which is, I think, very important in such a car. To have a very nice torque feel, you always feel the car is powerful in whatever ref range you are.
And I guess last question, so Alpina is quite adept when it comes to tuning and adjusting and taking what's already a strong foundation and making it much, much faster. Why 7 Series? Could you do the same with 5? Do you do the same with 5?
Okay, in Europe we have a quite complete portfolio, 3 Series, 5 Series, 6 Series, 7 Series. But for the States, of course, you have the M brand with very good M3, M5, M6s, but there's no M7 and there's no M7 planned. And I think still a 7 Series has to fulfill more than only to be very sporty. It has to be sporty, but still a certain comfort, and so the Alpina brand fits perfectly in.
Well, it's exciting to see it out here on the stand, and Andy Bovensieben, thank you for talking with us. It must be great for you to see your baby finally out in the public.
Yeah, of course. It's great to be here. It's a great show, and in the American market, I think it's a great opportunity for us and for the customers to have an Alpina feeling.
Very cool. And for more coverage of the 2010 Chicago Auto Show, keep it right here on KBB.com.